Hey, welcome back everybody. Welcome back to my channel, Amused Jester. My name is Junior. So today we are continuing our review of the Thundercats. This is the BattleCat Man, the Thundercats Masters of the Universe crossover. So there it is. There's the figure over here, off to the side, and this one. After the destruction of Thundera, BattleCat Man crashed in Third Eternia, and now proudly protects his adopted homeworld. Yeah, I kind of saw that that is called Third Eternia. Hold on a second. All right, I just read the comic book, and before we delve into that, let's go ahead and open this up, and let's look at the toy. All right, so there it is, out of packaging, mini comic book, and then the instructions. We'll put that aside. And while we just look very quickly at this figure, and I'll straighten him out, we'll talk about what I learned about the mini comic book and what this whole thing is all about. Let's go ahead and do a close-up of the details while we do that. So, from what I gathered, Third Earth and the history of Lion-O and the Thundercats and Mumra is intact, kind of like what we know from the cartoons. They defeated Mumra and everything. The only difference is that in that introductory history, Lion-O was already wearing the armor that we saw on him. Interesting. This is kind of like what BattleCat has. And then so Third Earth does exist. Then for somehow they travel onto another place, not necessarily another universe, but as they're actually so Skeletor summoned the power of the Book of the Dead, or Mumra's book, and somehow his Eternia travels into the universe where Lion-O is in, from what I can see. And that is called Third Eternia, not Eternia, which means I'm going to say that particular Eternia is not the Eternia that we know from Masters of the Universe. And then He-Man and Lion-O meet, and He-Man is already wearing his particular armor, and then this guy, BattleCat Man, arrives in kind of easing the tension between Lion-O and He-Man. Very interesting. And he is somewhat introduced as a Thundercat. So this is not a merging of BattleCat and a character within Thundera. He is kind of like a Thundercat that looks like BattleCat, and he already exists in Third Eternia. So it's not like the history was something happened. So it's not like the history is that something happened to merge the Thundercat universe and the Masters of the Universe. You know what I mean? Or it's not an instance where they both existed in the same universe and somehow Skeletor's spell merged the two. That's why we can have a He-Man and a Lion-O at the same time. They exist separately. So this one is a completely different character. It's not BattleCat. Now, why did I go through all this discussion? Well, it's actually going to affect the value that I have for this figure. If you have seen my Lion-O evaluation, I said that was a 15, because not only can this show as the new armor, but it has all these accessories that allowed him to become regular Lion-O. This one is the same price, albeit I'll have to admit, he is a bigger buck. As you can see, he's wider, taller, and everything. But this is also $20, the same price as the Lionel figure, and it's coming in with a claw shield of some sort. Now, I don't count these as extra accessories because this is actually part of the figure. Unlike with Lionel, he came in with his regular armor, and then he came in with secondary accessories such as a different hair. These two, you know, you saw my review, you've seen it, so those I count as extra accessories. So am I happy with this figure? Yes. At first I wasn't sure. Let me play along with the articulation. At first I wasn't sure if I was going to get this because I somewhat suspected that might be the case, that this is not necessarily BattleCat. There were just too many inconsistencies to the design. So I wasn't sure if I was going to get it, but I wanted to complete the wave and I wasn't sure. So I just wanted to get him really quickly. Same articulation as Lionel, by the way. And so because it doesn't have the same emotional attachment to Lionel, it's not like he can become... it's not like I can take off all this armor and then transform him into BattleCat. It's, you know, there's just no way to do that. So let's say 15 was the perfect score. Because I can't transform into BattleCat, obviously, it'll go down to 14. And because he only comes with the regular accessories, it's only 13. And because there's no nostalgic emotional tie-in to this character, I have no idea who this character is. There's no background or anything. It's a brand new character. It goes back to 12. So it's not a 10. I'm quite happy with what I'm getting. It's still an Origins, or it's still a Cartoons collection, although this looks odd. What happened here? Did he shave off his fur? I don't know what's going on with that. And this one, do I just attach it with the armor on, or do I remove this? Interesting. So because there's no attachment, all those points that I'm removing, it basically goes down to 12. He's not necessarily a value of 10, because it's still a pretty good figure. It adds to the universe, it adds to the characters and everything. I'm still quite happy with it. It's colorful. It's kind of like if I had gotten a cartoon collection from the massive universe of a character that I don't know about. I'm quite happy with it, and it still brings me a lot more of an enjoyment than if it were let's say something else that I wasn't expecting. So this, you know, it's a really nice look on that as well. So yeah, I would classify this as a 12, a regular 12. I wouldn't go down more than that. Although I guess if you really want to, you can remove all this armor and just have him appear as a secondary generic Thundercat character, which, you know, it's acceptable. But which doesn't exist though, you know. But this really throws me off though. I'm not sure if that's a mistake in paint application. Yeah, that's really meant to be like that, which is kind of weird. They should have retained that to green, or like a darker green. But I think the reason why they did that was just to remove the idea that he's got some sort of, I don't know. It is kind of a weird decision. They should have just made the whole thing like brown. I'm putting this back on because from the packaging art, it seems like it's supposed to be together. Maybe it's supposed to hold on to this. Like, how is this supposed to be on? I guess it's just like that. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, I think that pretty much covers the review of this particular figure. I'm just gonna pull it out from the socket. You know, I mean, it's got nice features that would be reminiscent of a BattleCat, but it's not. So this BattleCat Man and the He-Man from this universe, I think it's a different He-Man altogether. I think in this instance, this particular universe that they came from, the Thundercats and the Masters of the Universe do exist in the same universe. And their Earth just jumped into the Earth or it jumped into the universe which is currently containing Lionel's universe. I think that's basically it. That's how I kind of make the whole thing make sense, I guess. Interesting. It's kind of confusing how this thing really goes on, but I think that's it. But yeah, you know, this really needs to be put on like this. I think that completes it. But it's awkward though. See that? Like, I don't know how to put this on, because there's this bar that's preventing it from hugging the wrist a lot. How did I do that? Okay, anyway, so that's it for my review of BattleCat Man from the crossover of Masters of the Universe and Thundercats. It's still a great figure. It's like really a unique figure in its own. So I still recommend it. But is it something you need to get if you just want to do the basic Thundercats? Not necessarily. But yeah, still pretty cool. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you guys on my next review. Bye.